Hi guys. Today I'm just gonna talk about Valorant today. So I think so. This is the thing I am faced. So our service is actually like it requires to get some kind of content of it, like Markdown content, and the front end engineer has to be convert Markdown into HTML using some kind of library and has to be and and you have and it's just like Notion thing. Example, when you're trying to open Notion, it's kind of instant. The Markdown you already can see Markdown without some kind of latency. So to 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 be like that, I look at the how this works, and so this is kind of interesting. I look at the ChatGPT. So because if you're trying to, yeah, I'm just gonna show it with the. So let's say there's an API, like there's so you can you can get markdown string content, but after that you're able to see you have to make the just like rendered markdown. So if I call API, I have to able to see markdown string content, and I can render the markdown page. But this means that I really have to get the markdown string content to make it render markdown possible. But rendering some kind of page is actually single threaded. So what I'm single threaded? There's a stack here. There's a bunch of JavaScript, and there's a bunch of JavaScript, and since this is synchronous, the JavaScript has to be done here, and it popped and it renders the markdown page. But the calling markdown string content actually requires calling API, so that is asynchronous. So after this JavaScript has to be done, this asynchronous goes here and it go pop. So which means that even though means that there's a priority on render markdown first rather than markdown string content. So I can use kind of React hooks to make it like this markdown string content, which is faster, without making this content renders. But so that means I also can block the render markdown. So my question is, so okay, we are trying to call it the API, but rather than sorry, my English is not bad. So this is gonna be idle time. So while waiting the idle time, get the cache value from local storage. Since getting local storage is synchronous, we can get local storage first and render markdown. And if this markdown string content that from the API is kind of same to the get content value from the local storage, we don't have to change. But if it is not same, after rendered markdown, we can just re-render markdown, and we have to reset the local storage from the content. So this is kind of the idea that I said, but so I'm implementing those kind of cache storage. I'm using React hooks with the Jotai. So the reason why I chose Jotai is really for the simplicity. Like readers is really some kind of unnecessary learning curve, and it's kind of big for the normal global state. Example, readers pattern. So why do we need readers pattern only for this kind of stuff? It's too much, over engineering for me. So if you look at the ChatGPT application and the local storage, they put on the ChatGPT history on here. So I'm just gonna like do the same thing. So for example, if you look at my code here, I get the curriculum storage from the local storage. If there's none, create it. If you get it, I want to make curriculum storage, but that is like getting storage from the local. Get the storage, check the chapters, and if there's match with our param, which is curriculum ID, return it. If it's not, return no. Get chapter belongs to the chapter ID because there's only one chapter, but there's multiple. There's only example if there's like Python curriculum, there's a multiple chapter on there. Or like example, what is variable, those kind of things. So from that, I get chapter from this part. So this is the kind of mechanism that we use. We gonna put the cast logic on this part. We also gonna use the timestamp that checks this time is revised on. So this is it. Have a nice day. See you next time. Bye bye.